Linux Fundamentals Part 2. So let's get into it. Pretty simple. Talked about Part 1. It was very basic stuff. Part 2 kind of puts you into a whole new perspective of Ubuntu. Um, it talks about the Secure Shell protocol. So what that is, it's a protocol between devices in an encrypted form. It uses cryptography, which I've kind of been reading into. It's really cool. There's this website I've been using called CyberChef to kind of learn more about it. It talks about base64, hex, hexadecimal, decode, a bunch of different formats of encoding and decryption. It's just really, really cool. So if I put like try hack me, for example, and let's say I want to add it to base64, then convert it to hex, and then I want to rotate it, it turns into just gibberish. And you don't even know what it is unless you're the person that knows how to decrypt it, basically. It's just really cool stuff to learn. Anywho, basically, it sends info from your computer and then encrypts it on the internet and then decrypts it to wherever the server is, basically. Yeah, it's just really cool stuff. I love it so far. It was probably my favorite thing to learn so far about it. But yeah, so flags and switches. So this was a little challenging. I think I had to watch the video a lot and I kind of understand what was happening because once you use the help option and the manual option, which is MAN, or just dash dash help, gives you a bunch of different options for each kind of command you have. So you really have to like just read about. You don't have to read all of it, but it's good to know. It's just challenging, kind of remembering it all. Well, that's why I love doing these videos, so I can go back and just remember them myself. So this one touched about just creating files and folders. So touch will create a file, make directory will create a folder, copy will copy a file or folder, move will move them, remove them, and file will determine what type of file it is. So kind of more just basic commands you just should know to make life easier when using a terminal, because from what I've gathered, you're really going to be using your terminal a lot. So if you know the commands well, then that's just a really good start to have. And this just tells you more about determining files, copying them, just shows you how to use them basically. Permissions. So let's go up here. So basically, this one was a little more challenging, not really. Tells you how to switch users to SU user 2, and then you have to put in the password. So I think it went over doing that with like try hack me. I had a little bit issues with that for some reason. It wasn't working. I think I was just being dumb, and then I eventually figured it out. But yeah, and then it'll ask you to output contents and just making sure you know how to use the commands well. Now, directories, I still don't understand fully, but I did a little more digging into them, and I'm kind of getting the hang of it. So, etc is etc. It's a common location to store system files that are used by operating systems. It contains like the password and shadows, which stores like I guess the passwords for each users, and it's like an encrypted formatting called SHA-512. The variable one right here is variable data. So it's one of the main root folders found on Linux. It stores data that is frequently accessed, so backups, logs, stuff like that, and it's written by service or applications running on the system. The root one is like the home for the root user. So if like you're the first person to use a desktop, then you'll have root. The temporary directory is used to store data that is only needed and can be accessed once or twice, and once the computer is restarted, the folder is cleared out. So it's like just any stuff that you don't really need too much. And that was part 2, really. Very fast intro to it. And then we get to part 3, which is the hardest one, in my opinion.